If you're on Social Security and disability benefits, listen up. Millions of seniors are at risk of not receiving their Social Security or disability benefits if they don't make a change by September the 30th. The Social Security Administration just made a big announcement in response to an executive order that President Trump has signed. It is Executive Order number 14247, and it instructs the Social Security Administration to make a digital change in how they send payments. Specifically, this executive order is instructing the Social Security Administration to only send digital electronic payments for Social Security and disability benefits as of September the 30th. So, what does this specifically mean for you? It means that if you're a senior citizen getting Social Security or disability benefit as of September the 30th, if you don't make a change and receive your benefits electronically, your benefits are going to be stopped until you figure out a solution. So if you know somebody that is getting paper checks, if they're receiving their Social Security benefits by mail or their disability benefits, SSI or SSDI, by mail, send them this video because there is action that they need to take before September the 30th. They only have about two months to fix this, otherwise they are not going to get their benefit payments. This is not a drill. This is real, and I gave you the executive order number 14247 that was released, and the Social Security Administration is complying with the president's directive to only send electronic payment. This is supposed to deal with fraud, waste, and abuse in the Social Security system. And so it's one of the steps that the president is taking to clean up house. And so I'm going to talk to you about the two options that you have to take before September the 30th if you've been impacted by this. My name is Kwame Kwade. I am a government benefits expert. I have been helping seniors get the retirement benefits they deserve for 15 years. I cover topics on Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and other personal finance issues that affect seniors. So today I'm going to talk about a government debit card called the Direct Express Card that has been set up by the federal government to help those who do not have a bank account be able to get their federal payments electronically. I'm going to walk you in detail on how to sign up for the Direct Express Debit Card, what you can use the Direct Express Debit Card for, frequently asked questions about this debit card, including fees, ATMs, customer service, whether you can use it out of the country, bill pay, etc. I'm going to cover all that because this is one of the options that you have available to you if you are still getting paper checks. But as of September the 30th, you can no longer receive paper checks from the Social Security Administration. There is no ifs and buts about that. So let's talk about this executive order in detail. So effective September the 30th, the Social Security Administration will stop issuing paper checks for all Social Security benefits, including SSDI and SSI. All new and existing beneficiaries must receive payments via direct deposit into a bank account or a Direct Express debit card. The change is part of the federal push to modernize payments, reduce fraud, cut costs associated with mailing checks. The Social Security Administration will no longer offer the option to receive paper checks when you sign up for Social Security or disability benefits. This rule is based on an executive order that President Trump issued, Executive Order 14247, and reinforced by recent federal law. Now, why is this happening? Why the change? Well, there are three main reasons. Fraud. You've heard about Doge and all the changes they've been trying to make to the Social Security Administration. Part of their focus has been to fight fraud. So paper checks are 16 times more likely to be lost, stolen, or altered compared to electronic payments. And here's another thing you need to think about. The government is trying to save money. Remember, they're trying to root out fraud, waste, and abuse. And They are considering mailing paper checks as part of waste. So the government spends significantly more on processing and mailing checks than on digital payments. And then the third part is just efficiency. Electronic payments are faster, they're safer, and more reliable for both the government and for Social Security recipients. So there are exceptions, but it's very limited. So let me talk to you about that before I walk you through the Direct Express card. The federal government is going to grant waivers to a very limited group of people. Waivers are extremely limited and must be approved by the U.S. Treasury Department. That's a new change, not the Social Security Administration. And the only group of people, and I wanted to put this on paper so that you guys can see for yourself, the only group of people who are exempted from this rule, individuals born before May the 1st, 1921. It means that if you are 104 years old and above, you may continue to receive paper checks, but very few people fall into that category. So essentially, 99.9% of Social Security beneficiaries will have to get their payments electronically unless they fit into the three possible exemptions. Exemption number one, you have a severe mental impairment preventing use of electronic payments, and you have no representative payee available on your account to manage and help you with your Social Security or disability account. Exemption number two, you are living in a remote area without access to electronic payment infrastructure. So it means that you cannot get access to a bank account, or getting a bank account where you live is going to be inconvenient to you, and the mail is much easier to get than going to go sign up for a bank account. Number three, you are not eligible for the Direct Express Debit Card, which I'm about to explain in detail how the card works and why it is a safe alternative to getting paper checks. So how do you apply if you think you qualify for a waiver that you are 104 years or older? You automatically can continue to get your paper checks. But everybody else, if you feel like you fall into the three people or the three categories of people that I just described, you have to apply for a waiver through the U.S. Treasury Electronic Payment Solution Center. You have to call 1-800-967-5042 to request a waiver. Now, the Social Security field offices cannot approve a waiver. That is a new change. They used to be able to grant you a waiver to continue to get paper checks. That is no longer going to happen. You have to apply through the United States Treasury Department. So, what should seniors know about this? Well, if you are currently receiving paper checks, there are only two options available to you right now to solve this problem. One of them is open a bank account and sign up for, a checking or savings account with your local bank, or you sign up for the Direct Express Debit Card, which I am going to explain how it works. It's called the Social Security. It's otherwise known as the Social Security Debit Card. I'm going to explain to you how it works. Or you contact the Social Security field office and work with them on how you can transition to electronic payments. Now, if you believe you qualify for an exemption, then I've given you the number to call. Call the Treasury Department Electronic Payment Solution Center and request a waiver, and be prepared to provide documentation in some cases you may need a notarized statement in order to get the exemption that you need, or the waiver that you are looking for. So, what is the Direct Express Debit Card? Well, let's talk about it. So the Direct Express Debit Card is it just acts as a regular debit card, and it allows you to receive your federal benefit payments. It is a MasterCard, and it is designed specifically to receive federal benefit payments. Now, here are some things you need to know about the Direct Express Debit Card, because I want to walk you through how it works, who can get it, and what you can use it for. So let me first go through the Direct Express Debit Card website, just to walk you through the website so that you can see for yourself how this website looks and familiarize yourself with it. So here we go. So here is the Direct Express website. I'm going to take you to the main page, and this is what it looks like. And it is backed by the U.S. government. It says it's recommended. The U.S. Treasury Department requires all payments to be made electronically. So that's what the website looks like. And depending on which card you get, you can then log in, and it will take you to a specific login page for you to be able to log in into your Direct Express card. So it is a very robust website. It walks you through how it works. As you can see, it is a MasterCard, so it's accepted everywhere. Debit MasterCards are accepted. It is fast, convenient, and secure. Your federal benefits will be automatically deposited to your prepaid debit card account on the payment day. So whenever your Social Security or disability benefits is supposed to be paid, on that day, your benefit will be deposited into your Direct Express debit card. By choosing Direct Express, you've chosen a fast, convenient, reliable way to get your benefits. So how does it work? Well, let's walk through it. You can make purchases with a Direct Express card. You can pay bills. You can get cash advance payments, etc., with your Direct Express debit card. And then the next question is, well, who can get a Direct Express debit card? Well, if you go to their frequently asked questions page, they have a whole series of federal payments that you can receive on this debit card. U.S. Coast Guard benefits, Defense Finance and Accounting benefits, Department of Labor, Black Lung, etc. And then you can see there is Social Security, survivor benefits, retirement benefit, disability insurance, and then supplemental security income, and a whole bunch of Veterans Affairs benefits, including veterans compensation and pension. So that is the Direct Express debit card and how it works. Now I'm going to walk you through specific section because there's been a lot of questions about the card. Why do we have the card? Why is the government backing a debit card? And is it really backed by the U.S. Treasury Department? So I'm going to explain that. So the Direct Express debit card exists for one reason and one reason only: to help seniors or people who receive government benefit payments who cannot otherwise access a bank account. And so, for whatever reason, maybe you went and applied for a bank account and you're probably on that list where, previously you had a bad experience with the bank and they've put you on that list and now you cannot get a bank account. Or for whatever reason, you are unable to obtain a bank account. Well, the federal government is requiring everybody to get their benefit payments electronically. And so it presented a problem. If you're requiring everybody to get their benefits electronically and some people cannot get a bank account for whatever reason, then what is the solution? The solution then became prepaid debit cards. So there's a lot of companies now that have prepaid debit cards out there. The problem with those cards is that they come with a lot of fees. They have monthly payment, monthly balance fees. They have monthly fees that you have to pay. Some of them go as far as $15 a month to have a prepaid debit card. And so the government came up with a solution. Rather than forcing seniors to spend their Social Security, part of their money, paying these expensive fees that are associated with these prepaid debit card, the government set up the Direct Express debit card. So it is a Department of Treasury product, and they have hired a private bank, a private company to manage it. It used to be managed by Comerica Bank for a long time, based out of Texas, I believe. And now they have hired a new bank, I think out of New York. If I am not mistaken, it is Bank of New York Mellon, but I'm not sure. But they have hired a new bank. It's no longer Comerica Bank. It is a new bank, and I believe it's a New York-based bank. And they are now going to manage the card. What does that mean? It means that they're going to manage how the management of the card, the online the issuing of the card, the maintaining of the card, security, customer service, etc. So that is how the Direct Express card came into being. So what can you do with this card? Well, here are the features. The Direct Express debit card is accessible to you 24/7. It is safe because you don't have to carry cash. It is convenient because you can make purchases and get cash anywhere debit MasterCards are accepted. And as I mentioned, it is recommended by the United States Treasury Department because they are the ones that set up the program in the first place. So, how does it work? Well, the Direct Express debit card can be used in several ways. You can use it at a checkout. You can use it to get cash back. So if you go to a pharmacy or a grocery store and you purchase something, you can get cash back with your Direct Express debit card. You can make purchases online. You can make purchases over the phone. Anywhere you use MasterCard, pretty much anywhere credit cards are accepted, you can use your Direct Express debit card there. At grocery stores, drugstores, and pharmacies, gas stations, doctor offices, restaurants, department store, etc. All these places accept the Direct Express debit card. So now the biggest question is about ATM network. So that's one of the questions that we get a lot, like, can I get cash from an ATM? Well, the Direct Express debit card has a big ATM network. So all these logos that you see are part of the Direct Express ATM network. So, and then they have on their website a link where you can input your city, your state, your zip code, and then you can view the ATMs that are closer to you, including the ones that I've displayed on the screen. These banks and alliances, ATM networks are also usable by Direct Express debit card holders. So if you are worried about being able to get cash from your Direct Express debit card, rest assured that they have a big ATM network. Now, let's talk about fees. So one of the biggest concerns about the Direct Express debit card or about prepaid cards in general is that you get nickel and dimed on fees. So if you are comparing Direct Express debit card with other prepaid cards that are out there, you can see that this is backed by the U.S. Treasury Department in terms of it's their program. And so they made sure that a lot of services that come with this card are free. So if you make purchases at US locations, free. Cash back with your debit card, that is also free. If you want to get low balance notifications so that you don't overspend or overdraw your account, it is free. If then there's a web access, so you can log in online and look at your card just like any other debit card. You can do ATM balance inquiries. Some prepaid cards today will charge you if you go to the ATM and just check your balance. Or if you go to the ATM to get money and there is not enough money, they'll charge you. Some prepaid cards, if you call customer service, they will charge you. They want you to go to their website and talk to the AI. This is free with the Direct Express card. And then if you get cash from bank tellers, you can go to any bank, present your Direct Express debit card, and get cash from the teller. That is also free. You can get one card replacement a year for free. If you lose your Direct Express debit card, you can get a replacement one a year for free. And then there's a mobile app that you can access both on Android and Apple devices for free. And then ATM cash withdrawals in the US, including the District of Columbia, Guam, Puerto Rico, US Virgin Islands, are all, you can get one free with each withdrawal. So each time they deposit money from the federal government, or each time you get your Social Security or disability benefits in your bank account or your Direct Express account, you have one free ATM withdrawal. And if you compare that to other prepaid cards, they usually charge you for ATM withdrawals. Now, not everything is free. there are some things that you get charged for. So I'm going to walk you through the things that actually you get charged for. You see that there are things that it's a very limited list. So remember, you get only one ATM withdrawal for free. And then after that, it's 85 cents per withdrawal. And then there is something called the Direct Express Cash Access. If you do that particular transaction, it's 85 cents. If you want a monthly statement mailed to you, usually you can go online and look at your statement. If you want a monthly statement mailed to you, it is 75 cents each month. In some banks, they charge you $5 or $10 for this. And most prepaid cards charge about $5 to $10 to get a statement mailed to you. With the Direct Express card, it's 75 cents each month. And then if you want to move money from the Direct Express card to a US bank account, you are charged $1.50 each time. And remember, I told you have one free card replacement each year. Remember, I showed you this and I said if you have to replace your card, you get one free replacement each year. Well, now if you get that one and you have to replace the card again, or you lose your card or you get stolen, well, you are going to be charged $4. Other prepaid cards will charge you $30 to replace a card. And then if you want expedited delivery, you lose your card, you want them to mail the new card to you fast, well, you're going to pay $13.50 each time. And ATM cash withdrawals outside of the United States, which is common with all prepaid and credit cards, they're going to charge you $3 plus a 3% fee, which is standard. It's pretty much what you get with every bank card when you go abroad to withdraw money. And then purchases at merchant locations outside the US. If you make purchases abroad with your card, there's a 3% fee, which is pretty standard with all debit cards across the country. So that is the fee structure that you are going to face if you get the Direct Express debit card. And so let's talk about some other features that I think you should be aware of if you are thinking about the Direct Express debit card. Now, the questions we get asked a lot is about customer service. How do I call customer service about Direct Express? Well, there's a toll-free number that you can call 1-888-741-1115. If you are hearing impaired, there is a specific number to call. And if you are abroad, let's say you are on vacation and you need to call Direct Express, there is an international number you need to call, and all of this will be displayed at the back of your Direct Express card. Guys, I am not being paid to talk about this. I am just sharing information because I think you should know, because this is an important card, especially given that President Trump has issued an executive order requiring everybody getting Social Security or disability benefits or any government benefit to get their benefit electronically. Well, this is an option if you cannot get a bank a bank card or a bank account. And so I want to walk you through so you have understanding of everything, so that you know yourself, you know what you're getting yourself into when it comes to the Direct Express debit card. And I did mention that it is backed by the United States government. In terms of the Treasury Department, set up the Direct Express card as a program. Now, let's talk about international. Can you use your Direct Express card outside the United States? Yes, you can. According to their website, you can use it anywhere debit MasterCards are accepted. And you can, use it in all 50 states, in the District of Columbia, Guam, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands. Obviously, if you are using ATMs outside the network, you are going to be charged a fee. And then let's look at other features that are in the Direct Express card that you should know. The other question that we usually get is, how do you sign up for the Direct Express card? Well, you have to go to a website called Go Direct website, and you can sign up for the Direct Express debit card there. Or you can call 1-877-874-6347 And this Go Direct website allows you to sign up for direct deposit for your Social Security or federal government benefits. And so you can either click to get your Social Security check via direct deposit into a bank account. So you're going to need your bank account number and routing number, or you can do the Direct Express Debit MasterCard, which I have just explained to you. So as you can see, this is godirect.gov. It's a government website, and it allows you to enroll and or switch to electronic payments for your Social Security or other federal government benefits. And as you can see from this government website, they are telling you that you can call the number to enroll for direct deposit or a Direct Express debit card. So that's what the government is telling you, that you need to either get a bank account and get your federal benefits, or enroll in the Direct Express debit card. So now here's one of the things that you have to know about this card that a lot of people do not know and kind of trips them up when it comes to the Direct Express card. So you cannot get other forms of payments on the Direct Express card. So when you sign up for this card, you can only receive your federal benefit payments. You cannot get a Direct Express card and then turn around and get a part-time job and ask them to send your part-time wages to your Direct Express card. You are not allowed to do that. The only thing that can be deposited into Direct Express debit card is federal government benefit payments, or if you do a return, you buy something with your debit card, your Direct Express card, and you do a return, and then they deposit the money back into your card. That is allowed. You can get your return money back. But other than that, you cannot go and to the bank and tell them to add money to your Direct Express account. You cannot deposit cash into it. So that's one limitation, because remember how this all started. The Direct Express card started because the government was trying to solve a specific problem, which is help federal government payment recipients or benefit recipients have another option to get their federal government payments electronically. And so it makes sense that they are trying to limit it to just that. They don't want you using it for anything else other than getting federal government benefit that are deposited into the Direct Express debit card. So now let's go back to the Direct Express website, and I can answer some frequently asked questions about this card. Now, will my Social Security, Supplemental Security, or other federal benefits be safe with the Direct Express card? Well, it says yes, with the Direct Express card, your money is FDIC insured up to the maximum limit. In addition, customer customer protections required by Reg E and MasterCard Zero Liability protects you against unauthorized use of your card. When promptly reported, I want to emphasize that this will apply to your debit card account. Finally, if your card is lost or stolen, it will be replaced upon request. So this is an important question, because people want to know that, hey, if my card account gets hacked, am I protected? Another question is, how is the Direct Express card different from a credit card? Well, it is not a credit card. You can only use your Direct Express card if you have money in your account. And so it is not a credit card. And so you cannot treat it as such. If you don't have money in your account, you cannot use the card because it will be rejected. Now, how do you sign up? Well, I told you earlier that signing up is easy. If you currently are receiving federal benefit payments such as Social Security or Supplemental Security Income, then you need to call the toll-free number 1-800-333-1795 or visit your local federal paying agency. And then do I need to give my federal benefit agency my card information in order to receive benefits? No. After you sign up for the Direct Express card, Direct Express will notify Social Security and other federal paying agencies that you have a Direct Express card account, and they will have the agency provide them the information they need to begin to transfer your benefits to that account. So that is a streamlined process. So when you sign up for the Direct Express card, they will take care of the rest. They will notify the Social Security Administration that, hey, this person has signed up for the Direct Express card. So going forward, their Social Security benefits should be sent to the Direct Express card. And I did say that your benefits are sent on the day that they are due. And so your payment date, if you're on Social Security, whatever Wednesday of the month, or whether you're getting your benefits on the 1st or the 3rd, whatever day it is, that is when you should expect your money being deposited into the account. Now, if you have a representative payee who receive your Social Security benefit, can they sign up for Direct Express card for you? Yes, they can. They have to call 1-800-333-1795. Now, let's say that let me see what else is interesting here that may be of interest to you. I talked about fees, that a lot of services are free. There are a few services that you have to pay a fee on. But then here is something. How do you avoid transaction fees while using your Direct Express debit card? This is one of the questions that seniors who want to save money often ask about the Direct Express card. So let's address it now. So they encourage you to look closely at the fee, which I've shared with you. Use a Direct Express surcharge-free ATM. So that's one of the tips they're giving you. And I did share the network with you, that there are a network of ATMs that do not charge you a surcharge when you use them. Use your Direct Express at stores and locations to pay instead of getting cash at the ATM. Because remember, you are only allowed to get one cash at the ATM free for each payment cycle, and then you incur fees. So if you don't want to pay fees, use your debit card to pay for things rather than getting cash. And then you can get, cash back in grocery stores or pharmacies, and you can use your PIN to get cash back. Or you can go to a bank or credit union that accepts MasterCard and get cash from a teller free of charge. So that's another way to save money with the Direct Express debit card. And then use your Direct Express debit card to buy money orders at the US Post Office and other locations that accept debit cards if you want to pay bills. So that is pretty much how the card works. I wanted to explain this to you so that you have a good understanding of this important debit card that allows you to get your federal government payments. And of course, I've displayed the ATM network already. Let's see if there are other questions that I can answer. Customer service. What if my Direct Express card is lost or stolen? If your card is lost, you may request a replacement through their website or through the mobile app. Remember, there's also a mobile app that you can download and track your expenses and your account. And if you call the customer service line, they are going to walk you through how to get a replacement. A replacement takes about 7 to 10 days to get it. So if you want to expedite it, you can pay a shipping fee, in order to get that. So I hope that this has been helpful to you. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just telling you about the executive order from President Trump that is requiring everybody to move to electronic payments by September the 30th, but I'm also telling you about what you can do about it, which is get a bank account, or you should sign up for the Direct Express debit card that allows you to receive your federal government payment electronically. And lastly, I want to talk to you about our Medicare partner chapter. I have always said that seniors do not realize this, but they can get more money out of Medicare than they can get out of Social Security. Recently I was talking to a senior on the chat in the comments, and they were saying that they just had surgery and it was $60,000 and Medicare paid for it. So being the right Medicare plan is important because in any given year, you probably are getting more money of expenses that Medicare is paying for you than you actually getting in Social Security check. But a lot of seniors, 90% of seniors, are in the wrong Medicare plan. And so our partner chapter can help you get into the right Medicare plan. And how can they do that? They can help you by viewing your current plan and seeing if you are in the right plan. And if you are, they will tell you. And if you are not, then they can help get you into the right plan. So if you're turning 62, 65, or you just don't know if there's a better plan for you based on where you live, chapter can help you with that. And here's the thing, when you call them, they will share with you what plans are available in your local area, what the costs are, what the doctor networks are, the hospitals that are in those plans, what is covered, and what the copays are. And then they will help you compare that plan to traditional Medicare. And so over 2,000 of our viewers have already gotten help from chapter, and their advice is free and is unbiased and is there to help get you into a better plan. These guys are your advocates. They want to be in your corner to help you get the most out of Medicare. And when you call, these are the people you're going to be talking to, real licensed agents. And here's one of the things I like about them. They don't pay their agents to push specific plans. That is what the other companies do. These guys do not push specific plans on you. They are there to figure out what is in your local area that is best for you. That's why they are A plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Tons of 5-star reviews. So call the number 539-205-2147 and or go to askchapter.org/insider. So now that I've talked to you about the Direct Express Debit Card, I am going to then answer questions that have been asked throughout the week about changes that are happening with Social Security. So if you have any specific question you want to highlight in the comments, I can pull it up and answer it, or I can go through my list of questions that have been asked so that I can walk you through the answers. So I'm going to stay here for another 30 minutes and just go through these questions that I think are really important for you to know. So the first question has to do with the cost of living adjustment. And so a few days ago, I did a video about the Social Security COLA and mentioned that cost of living adjustment is projected, is estimated to be between 2.4% to 2.7% for 2026. So what does that mean? It just means that there are expert organizations like the Senior Citizens League that have a good sense of how the Social Security cost of living adjustment, where it's going to land based on how it's calculated. And so they release an estimate, and they will continue to do that all the way through the fall until the Social Security Administration actually releases the real number, which happens in October. And then it goes into effect in January. But generally, whatever the Senior Citizens League comes up with is pretty close to what the final number usually is. And so that is why it is important to share that information with you when we get them. Now, the other question that I've received a lot about is about Social Security spousal benefits. Specifically, what happens with people who are divorced, people who remarried, and people who are recently married. So the first thing I want to say is the divorce part. If you are divorced, you can get your ex-spouse's Social Security benefit in terms of get a Social Security benefit based on your ex-spouse's record. Now, how does that work? Well, there are rules around it, and there are 3 things that you need to be aware of in order to be able to get that. But I want to say this first. A lot of people think that when they are divorced, they have to get their ex-spouse's permission in order to get on their Social Security or get Social Security based on their ex-spouse's record. And sometimes during divorce, you hear people use that as a tool and say, "Oh, I don't want him or her to get my social security." Well, it is not, it's not like that. It's you don't have control over that. The person has earned it. As long as they meet the criteria, they are eligible, and it doesn't take anything away from your benefit. So if you are divorced and your ex-spouse is getting social security based on your record, it doesn't reduce your balance. It doesn't reduce how much money you're going to get in your lifetime. It's just that by being an ex-spouse and meeting certain criteria, they're eligible for benefit based on your record, as long as what they will get under your record is more than what they will get under their own record. So the rules around that are the following. Number one, you have to have been married for at least 10 years. Number two, you have to be divorced at least 2 years. And number three, you cannot have been remarried. You can, if you are 62 years or less. So if you meet those three criterias, then all you have to do is go to the Social Security Administration and say, "Hey, I am going to apply for a divorce benefit based on my ex-spouse's record," and they're going to require your divorce decree. They're going to require your marriage certificate and when it was ended. And then they want to know your situation right now. If you're single and you're less than 62 years old, you did not marry before you're 62, remarry, then you are eligible. Now, if you fail any of those criteria, then you don't. But here's the thing. In any of those spousal situations, they will first give you benefit based on your own record, and then they will top off with whatever difference you would have gotten if you get it based on your ex-spouse's record. But the most important thing you need to know is that you do not have to tell your ex-spouse, or you don't need their permission, and they cannot use that as a tool or leverage against you, because it is something that you are eligible for and that you have earned by being married for 10 years to them and by being divorced for at least 2 years and not being remarried. So I wanted to clarify that because that is an important thing that a lot of people don't know, and they're getting lower benefit amount when they could get more based on their ex-spouse's record. Now, the next question that I received recently has to do with people who do not file taxes and what's going to happen with them with the big beautiful bill. And here I did some digging, and there is information I want to share with you. In terms of, the big question is, are you impacted if you are someone that does not file taxes and you are waiting to see what's going to happen with a big beautiful bill? What do you qualify for? How much money are you going to get? What are you eligible for? I want to share this table with you. Let's see. Here we go. So this is a particular study that was done, and I wanted to highlight that because it kind of shows you what is at stake when it comes to the big beautiful bill and the how it compares to passing no tax on Social Security. Okay, how much would you have received if no tax on Social Security was passed? And what I want to say is that when people say that Social Security taxes have been eliminated, this particular chart using real world scenarios makes you realize that, number one, not everybody is getting money under the big beautiful bill, and number two, no tax on Social Security as a legislation would have been a better option. And so if you are making less than $24,000, essentially you are not getting any help from the big beautiful bill when it comes to the tax provision. And that is the question I want to answer, because you can see it right here. Whether they had passed no tax on Social Security, or whether they had passed the $6,000 tax deduction, it doesn't matter. If you make less than $24,000 in income, Social Security income, or even combined income, you get no benefit. Whether the president had honored his promise to pass no tax on Social Security, or whether the 6,000 tax deduction applies to you. I wanted to be clear on that, because a lot of seniors have been commenting on my post asking, what about us? Well, unfortunately, and this is not something that I find joy in saying. I am just saying that this is the fact. A lot of seniors, about 50% of seniors, were actually left behind in the big beautiful bill, even though a lot of noise was made about that, and a lot of seniors have been left behind. And so that's just a fact, and I wanted to make sure that there's no confusion around that, because if somebody is telling you otherwise and keeping your hopes up that money is going to be coming, and because I know a lot of you have been waiting for an increase for a long time, and we're hoping for some benefits to come out of this bill. Well, unfortunately, that's not what was done. And so I want to be clear. Now, the question is there something that can be done? Well, I think there's a lot that can be done this year. If they want to do it, they can pass an increase. They've talked about so many times passing Social Security increase and haven't gotten around to doing it. Well, I think that this is the year that they can do it. And if there's political will, I mean, they had a lot of political courage to pass this bill, which is trillions of dollars, but the tax benefits are primarily skewed towards the rich. And so if they want to do something for seniors in the low income category, I think that this is the year to do it. And it just have to take them political courage to want to do it. So that is another thing that I want to emphasize. Now, the next question, and one of the questions that I get a lot, is about people on disability benefits. What's going to happen now that the big beautiful bill has been passed? So I did some research and I have an answer. So if you're on Social Security disability, or you are thinking about applying for Social Security disability, pay attention, because there's a couple of things that you need to know about that are going to happen soon. The first thing is that they are making getting disability benefits harder. It should come as no surprise, because from my observation, there is this perception that if you are on disability benefits, you are pretty much taking advantage of the government or the taxpayers. But the thing is that they don't make a distinction between disability benefits. So let me make that distinction first, and then I'll answer your question. So there are two types of Social Security disability benefits. There is the Social Security Disability Insurance, and as the name goes, it's an insurance program for people who have paid into Social Security and have enough credits, and for some reason became disabled earlier in their career before they were eligible for Social Security benefits. And so they cannot work or cannot do the job that, the job that they were doing before. They cannot do the job or cannot do any other job that is similar. And so there is a very strict procedure around that. You have to meet two criteria. You have to meet the job criteria, because the Social Security Administration is going to have you reviewed and examined to make sure that there is no job that you can do or similar to what you used to do before. And then there's the medical criteria. The medical criteria, there is a list of ailments that the Social Security Administration has that you have to fall into one of those to be automatically eligible. And if you don't fall into one of those, then you go through this whole examination period. And Social Security disability insurance applications can take minimum a year. Some of them take 2-3 years because the process is long and you're just waiting. In the meantime, you're not getting any money. Now, why is it so hard to get? Well, first of all, 70% of all Social Security disability applications are rejected. So only 3 in 10 are approved. 70% are rejected right away. And then after that, now you have to go through an appeal process. And there's 3 stages of appeal. You can appeal the first round, and then you can have a reconsideration, and then if that doesn't work, then you have a final appeal before a Social Security judge, administrative judge, that makes a final decision if you really feel that you need. So 70% are rejected right away, and then they have to go through the appeal process, and even through the appeal process, very few get through and get their application approved. So my point is that even in the program, the Social Security Disability Insurance Program, that is something that you paid into, you still have to go through the ringer in order to get it. And so when people think that people on disability benefits are taking advantage of the government or taking advantage of taxpayers, first of all, they've paid into the system and are eligible because it's an insurance program. It's called Social Security Disability Insurance for a reason. It's an insurance program to protect workers who get injured and cannot do the work that they used to do or do a similar job and now need a source of income. So it's supposed to help you, but you have to have paid into Social Security. Now, if you do not have enough credits, it means that you haven't earned enough credits to get Social Security benefits, but you become disabled and you are low income, then you can apply for Supplemental Security Income, SSI. Same process. You have to be reviewed for the job part of the thing. Can you do the job that you used to do, or can you do a similar job? And then you have to go through the medical process. Same. The two disability benefits have the same review criteria. The only difference is that one you've paid into and one you haven't paid into because you are low income and you haven't earned enough credits for Social Security. But the first one, Social Security Disability Insurance, it's not like a party. The average Social Security Disability Insurance is about $1,500 a month. And that's not a lot of money. The average Social Security retirement benefit is $1,908. So if you're getting disability, it's not like a great, amazing life that people make it out to be. You're actually going to be hustling because you're getting and that's the average. A lot of people get much, much lower. There are seniors that are getting on disability benefits. They haven't turned 65 or 62 yet or 65. They're getting disability. Some are getting 1,000. Some are getting 1,200. It is not a party. If you're getting SSI benefits, and here's one thing also for both benefits. So I'm going to answer the question I posed earlier that was posed to me. For both disability benefits, there's also redetermination. Very frequently, the government will come and want to check that you're still disabled. And so you have to go through medical reviews. They will send you a paperwork. You go through this whole song and dance to make sure that you are still disabled and you deserve to continue to get benefits. So it is not one and done. So you're always on edge because at any given time they can change the rules and then increase the frequency on how many times you have to prove that you're eligible. And I know people will go into the comments and probably say, oh, I know somebody in my family that should not get disability, but they're getting disability. Do people slip through the system? Yes. Any program, any federal program has people, a few tiny percentage that will abuse it and ruin it for everybody else. But I look, if you have met people that genuinely need disability benefits, you understand that their life without it is a miserable life, and their life with it is not that much better. It's just that it barely keeps them afloat. Most of them are locked in poverty because they're getting $1,300 a month, and they're getting tiny increases a year. They cannot work because if they work, obviously then they don't need disability. And so there are rules around that. So what point am I trying to make? I'm trying to say that, if you're getting disability insurance, SSDI is not a party. And if you're getting SSI, the maximum SSI benefit, supplemental security income, is $943. That is the maximum you can get. And if you are a couple that are getting SSI together, you both are SSI benefits, it's $1,300, $1,350. So we are not talking about a ton of money. And so my point is that disability benefits qualification is hard, and those who get it don't get a lot of money. That's the point I'm trying to make. So when I get questions about how do you qualify for disability benefits and how can you know you're eligible, if you've paid enough credits into Social Security, it means that you worked for 10 years and gotten your 40 credits. You can go to the Social Security website, and when you download your Social Security statement, it will tell you, excuse me, it will tell you whether you are eligible for disability benefits, SSDI, and how much you're likely to get if you get approved today. So it's a very useful tool. If you haven't logged into the Social Security website to see your Social Security statement, you should, for many, many reasons. And maybe I'll do a separate video to cover how to log into the Social Security website, how to download your statement, because your statement will tell you a lot of things. If you're currently receiving benefits, it will tell you income, and then you're working, it will tell you your income history. It will tell you the income that was used to calculate your benefit. It's probably a good idea to go check it, because sometimes they make mistakes and you're probably missing a few years of income, and that can impact how much money you get. But my point is that if you want to know if you're eligible for disability benefits, log into the Social Security website and get your Social Security statement, and it will tell you how much SSDI benefits you are eligible for if you are approved today. So that is the other questions that I get a lot regarding disability benefits. And then people want to know, is there any help out there that is coming, any stimulus? The biggest online, I don't want to call it a scam, but the biggest online hype that you see is about stimulus. I think that there are people who are telling you that there's a stimulus coming. I have done the research, and I can tell you right now that I have no evidence anywhere. So if you have any evidence, or you have proof that the government is thinking about sending stimulus checks, please let me know. Just link the article to the comment section below, or send me an email. It's, I think it's, you can directly send us at hello@benefitsinsider.co, or you can just put it in the comment section, because I have looked high and low and I cannot find any legislation currently in Congress or in the Senate about a stimulus package that is going to be sent to low income seniors or people on disability. And so previously I did a video, and maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow, about what I think can be done to support low income seniors that are on Social Security or disability benefits in terms of increase, money, what they can do to put more money in your pocket. And I've given examples of legislations that are currently in front of Congress that I believe, if passed, and those can be passed, can bring you a lot of relief when it comes to seniors that are on Social Security or disability benefits. And so that is what I wanted to talk to you about today. I like answering your questions. I like doing the research and bringing you facts, because I am here to give you the facts. I'm not here to talk about politics. I'm here to just give you the facts, and then you do whatever you want with it. And that is my job, to just share plain facts. So if you have any questions about any topic, let me know in the comment section. I will do the research, and then I'll come on and then share what I think and what I've learned with you. And I'm also open to learning from you. So that's why I said, if you find any evidence that there's going to be a stimulus coming this year, 2025, from this current Congress, let me know. And I'm happy to look into it and share it with everybody. So today's Thursday, July the 17th. I am glad that you joined me here tonight. And I am looking forward to seeing you tomorrow when we cover pressing, urgent topics that affect seniors and their personal finances, ranging from Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and other personal finance topics like we did today when we talked about the Direct Express Debit Card. So until I see you tomorrow, if you like what you heard, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I am glad you are here, and I'll see you tomorrow.